The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
Last one again,
Ready here, Steven, please. Steven, just up here, please. Just up here. Okay, you've done a handshake. Can you pick up the Steven, please? Okay. Just in here. Good boy. Thanks, Steven. Anyone just right in here, please? Thanks, Steven, the back, please. Thanks, all. Anyone just in here, please? Right here, to the back. Just the Danish one. Gentlemen over here. This way, guys. There's just one up here, guys. This one, Steven.
Thank you.
Chairman,
What's your name is, Steve? Steve, you look good. Just Bob, thanks very much. Thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can just formally thank you all for coming here to Ibrox at such a short notice. It's really, really appreciated. We are here, as I'm sure you're all aware, for not the best kept secret, but to announce the appointment of Steven as the new manager of Rangers Football Club. We are all incredibly excited to have someone of Steven's calibre and background to come to the club, and we look forward to working with him. Before we go into questions, I also want to take the opportunity to thank Liverpool Football Club for giving us the opportunity and facilitating and be very generous with their support and allowing us to speak to Steven, and for the very constructive manner that both Liverpool Football Club and Steven worked with us to try and get this agreement put in place at short notice. And then also just place on record, from the board's point of view, our thanks to all of our supporters for the patience that they have shown over what was clearly a very prolonged period during which the club is an interim manager, and we understand some of the frustrations, but we believe that the time that we've taken to get the right appointment in place will stand us in good stead in the coming years. So if we can just go straight into questions. Thank you.
Steven, welcome to Glasgow, welcome to Rangers. Tell us about the thought process about taking this job, what you had to weigh up and how excited you are.
Yeah, a lot of things I needed to weigh up, of course. A huge opportunity presented itself. Obviously very aware of Rangers, the size of the club. Watched them from afar for many, many years, and being lucky enough to come up and sample some of the old firm games. But when the call came off Liverpool with the opportunity to speak to Rangers, it was a no-brainer for me. I got a different feeling in my stomach from the previous opportunities I'd had in terms of being a number one manager. So yeah, there was a lot of things to think about, but from that phone call I got a special feeling, and I knew Rangers was for me.
What have you asked of the board, and what have they said in terms of promises about the resources you will have to do this job to the best of your ability?
Well, I don't think it's important to talk about that in much detail right here, right now. I think it's very important to talk about the support that I've had from the chairman and from Mark and from Stuart from the first conversation. There's a lot of positivity around their ambition, which matches mine, and I have a confidence that I can deliver here as a manager. So I don't think it's the time now to go into much detail about what's available and what's being said to me in private meetings. The most important thing for me is the opportunity and the challenge, and that's one I'm very excited about, and I wish I could sort of get rid of the next 4 or 5 weeks because I can't wait to walk into the door and meet the players.
Given that then, and you're a man that's played at the very highest level for a club and country, in terms of being a manager, this was something new to you. Is experience an issue? What do you expect in Glasgow? How do you see it?
It's not an issue for me. It seems to be an issue for other people, but I can't control that. You know, I respect everyone's opinion. I've been around a big football club for a long time. I've been around big football matches. I've watched big managers perform and I've worked under big managers. I can't do nothing about having no experience where to sit right now. And there's only one way to go and get experience, and that is to, have the, believe in yourself that you've got the right characteristics to go and take a challenge head on and front it. And one day I will be experienced for sure. And I hope, I've got confidence that this journey will certainly help me.
Stephen, Martin Geisler writing in News, you've touched on your experience. You've got a lot to learn. Some would say everything to learn in management. You're going to get a hell of a schooling in this club and in this city. Are you ready for the pressure? Do you know what to
I'm
expect?
looking forward to the schooling. Yeah, pressure's not a bad thing for me. I played under pressure. I've lived under pressure since I left school. I think in football, if you're working under pressure, you're in a good place. Since I stopped playing football, I missed that pressure of fighting for 3 points on the weekend. I'm being here now, being Rangers manager, I know that's going to come. I know there'll be a lot of scrutiny and a lot of pressure, but that's what I love about being involved in football.
People say the city's a bit different from others though when it comes to pressure, the goldfish bowl, that intensity. Do you know what to expect?
Bring it on. Bring it on. I don't mind being under intense pressure. I knew that before I decided to become Rangers manager, and I'm up for the challenge. I'll come here and do my very best. The supporters were another big reason why I wanted to come here and be a leader for them. Their loyalty, how they've stuck by this club, is certainly one of the values that I believe in. So I can't wait to be out there leading this team in front of them, and I think with the right support from the gentlemen who are alongside me, I'm really looking forward to some exciting times.
Stephen, how much of a rebuilding job do you think you've got here, and how confident are you that you can bring back stability here?
Well, I think that's the key, is stability. We want to give these supporters an exciting team, a winning team, and a team that they can be proud of. I need to get my feet in the door and my teeth into the job before I can weigh up exactly where we need to strengthen, where we need to improve. But I'm here for a reason, and that's to front that challenge and try and take it forward.
In terms of the expectations, what are those expectations, and how confident are you of delivering those expectations?
I'm confident, or I wouldn't be sitting in this seat. If I didn't have confidence in myself and in my staff that are going to be coming in here, if I didn't have confidence in the board and in Mark, I wouldn't took this challenge on. I'm confident that we can do well. And in terms of targets and that type of stuff, I just want to win football matches. That's what I love doing. That's my buzz, and that's what I want to do here. And that's the demand here, and I'm ready for that.
How much are you looking forward to toe-to-toe with Brendan Rodgers? And did you speak to him before taking on this role?
I haven't spoke to Brendan recently regarding this role at all, but me and Brendan are fine. We always have been fine, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Did you stand out anyone else before, or stand out anyone before taking on this role?
I knew straight away from the phone call that I wanted to really look into it and I wanted it to progress. But of course, I've spoke to close friends and family and people in the game that I'm tight with. I won't reveal any names, but yeah, of course, I've spoke to people about it.
And you said at the start you had this feeling in your stomach, something just felt different.
Yeah.
What was it that felt different about those two other ones?
Excitement, opportunity. This opportunity doesn't come around all the time. Clubs of this size with the stature and the history, the tradition. But the key was the opportunity. I believe I can come in here and improve things, and I believe I can make these fans happy.
Dave, how much did you weigh up risk versus reward when you go for Steven, who's obviously not had a senior managerial role before?
Yeah, I think that if you look at the deliberations we had around managers, there's a lot of boxes that the one tries to tick, and no one ticks all of the boxes. And what I liked about Steven, when Mark first initially said to me, look, what about Steven Gerrard as an idea, as a potential manager, was clearly he hadn't managed before, but that's the only box that he didn't tick. Every other box he did tick. Competitive ability, a winner, knows what it takes to win. So he was ticking all of the boxes other than experience. But having said that, if I looked at, with no disrespect and no individual names, but I've looked at a lot of the other managers whose names were being put forward for us over the last couple of months, they had experience, but a lot of that experience wasn't necessarily good, because the reason they were available is because their previous clubs felt that they weren't performing well. So I was very, very happy that to get someone of Steven's ability, character, which I think is very, very important, that outweighed, in fact, the inexperience. In fact, in this specific instance, I don't think that inexperience will necessarily work against him. I think it can be a plus in this case.
And I asked Steven the question, how much of a rebuilding job there is here? How much of a rebuilding job do you think there is here?
I think we were continuing the process. I think the team is, if I look at the non-footballing side, certainly we've come a long way in the last couple of years, and the footballing side is still behind where I hope we would be. But having said that, a lot of improvements have been made. Despite the instability we've had with our managers over the last couple of years. So I'm hoping the fact that Steven's come in, he's committed himself to 4 years, which really is a good long commitment, I think, to the club. And I'm very, very reassured by the level of commitment that he's made to the club.
Can you be patient then, Dave, and what support can you give Steven on and off the field in terms of helping him get the right team but the stability off the field?
Well, we can support him in two ways. Obviously, from a board's point of view, the board is, delighted with the appointment of Steven, and we really just think it is the right appointment for the club at this point in time. So he'll get that emotional support, but obviously we've got to continue to keep funding the club and narrow the funding gap that we currently have between ourselves and Celtic. So we've got to make sure that in order to meet the manager's ambitions, that we still continue to invest in the club.
What targets have you given to Steven for the season ahead?
Is to win games. I think we haven't won enough games this year that we could have won. And it comes down to individual games. And if we start winning games, then the titles will look after themselves.
Steven, in terms of recruitment, how do you assess current Rangers squad, and how do you got plans already to go about putting your own stamp on this team?
Well, I think along with Mark and Andy, we're now a team, and the ball's already rolling in terms of looking what we've got already, and also opportunities to strengthen that moving forward. But we're a team, and we're really looking forward to taking the process forward, as the chairman says, and the excitement levels are high, and there's some really good opportunities to do that.
Steven, can you tell us who you've lined up for your backroom staff?
I can tell you who my number 2 is going to be. Well, my assistant, I don't like to call him a number 2 because he's just as important as me, and that'll be Gary McAllister. He's a long-time friend of mine. I played alongside Gary at Liverpool, kept in touch with him since then. I have huge respect for Gary, and he ticks the box where, maybe I'm not the most experienced manager sitting here right now, but Gary's been around the game for a very long time. So as a partnership, I feel that's very strong, and he'll be a big rock and a big support for me, and he's very excited to take this. As soon as I asked him, it was a yes straight away.
Is it important having somebody with that Scottish experience? Is something a vital part of what part of the team as well?
Yes, I think Gary ticks that box. He played at Motherwell. Obviously played for the national team on many a times, but just his general knowledge of the game, the way he carries himself off the pitch, on the pitch, the way he treats people. I learned so much off Gary as a human being and a footballer, and I couldn't ask for anyone better to take this challenge on with me.
Obviously had a very disappointing result last week, another one a couple of weeks before against Celtic. How much what you're going to have to do the next couple of months is still lift morale here in those spirits?
Yeah, that's one of the challenges. The contract starts on the 1st of June, so I have to respect that there's still games to play, and let the lads and the staff get on with that. Hopefully there's some positive results to come in the short term. And then when I walk in the door, that's one of the things I want to do. I want players and I want staff that come to work with smiles on their faces, who believe in what I believe and also have the confidence that we can take this club forward. That's massive. You've got to come to work with a smile on your face.
Dave, I wonder if you can offer some clarity in terms of any fresh investment that might be coming into the club. Can you say anything on that front?
I think it's pretty much what you know. We are continuing to invest. There's going to be a rights issue you're aware of as well. So we're well on way to having the funds in place to support what Mark and Steve will want to do in the transfer window.
I just asked Mark, you've had the initial idea to bring Steve in. What gave you that idea? What made you go for Steve?
I think for a very long time I've always thought it was a question of when with Stephen and management. It was very clear to me. I've known Stephen over quite a number of years now in previous roles, that the characteristics that you're looking for when you're trying to appoint someone in your managerial sort of position, he carries them. He more than carries those characteristics of being a winner, being a leader, and being a character that can cope with adversity. And I think those are fundamental sort of requirements in a manager. So I think I always knew that Stephen would be a manager. It was a question of when, and when I thought we had an opportunity to go and secure him, it was one of those moments you just go, because I think Stephen's going to be a fantastic manager for Glasgow Rangers.
Question. I think you were at the last Celtic Rangers game, from right in saying so.
Yes.
What did you learn from that experience?
That we've got a fantastic atmosphere that's very powerful. That can get behind this team and lift them. I certainly thought there was an opportunity to go for Celtic within the game, especially when they had the man sent off. Unfortunately, the result didn't materialise as a positive one, but there was certainly moments and opportunities in that game to go for it. And yeah, I thought, take the scoreline out of it, I thought it was a very positive performance from the Rangers players.
You relish that challenge for matches. That must be one of the big
I love a challenge. I love a challenge, and my parents brought me up in life to always front a challenge. If you feel like that challenge is the right one for you, go for it. Go and front it up and give it your best shot, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here.
Stephen, back on the recruitment bit, in terms of your relationship with Mark, in terms of identifying players and who will have the final say, how will that relationship work?
Well, I don't think it's important on who has the final say. I think it's about us working together for the benefit of Rangers. I've got every confidence that Mark and Andy can help me identify the players that we want, and also in the areas of the team where we feel like we need help and support. And then it's about us being in an agreement that these are the right players that can help improve the team and the squad.
Stephen, you said at the start that you're itching to get going, like the next 4 or 5 weeks can't end soon enough. In that regard, will you speak to the players, meet the players, will you take in any games? Can you give us an idea of what will happen next?
No, I think I have to. I've still got a couple of commitments with Liverpool that have been in the diary for a long time. I have to respect them. Liverpool Football Club have been top class in the last week to 10 days. They've been very supportive. But I also have to show them the same level of respect and see the couple of commitments that I've got left with them, which are in May. And also the same goes for BT, who I've had a 3-year relationship with, and I have to respect a couple of commitments I've got left with them. And then on June the 1st, for me it starts for real, and then we'll come back in pre-season and I'll speak to the players then.
Question for Dave and Stephen. This is a gamble, right, for everybody involved. Do you both accept that you've each individually taken a punt on this from your own perspective?
I certainly wouldn't say a punt. I think that we, as you know already, we've been very careful and thoughtful about looking for a manager. It's taken us months to get to this point when, if anything, we were under pressure to rather make an appointment. So I certainly don't see it as a gamble or a punt.
In terms of Stephen's lack of experience in management?
I'm more concerned about his ability as a footballer. To me, the management in itself is not an issue. As I said earlier, I think there are some advantages to him coming in clean and able to stamp his own authority and his own management style on the club. So I see positives rather than negatives in that point.
And Stephen, do you think you've taken a gamble, taking such a big job as your first one?
No. I have confidence in myself, in my ability. I've weighed the gamble up and the risk, and I understand other people thinking it is because it's my first job in management, but I've got confidence in myself that I can deliver for these supporters. That's the only thing that matters to me. Do I think I can do a good job as the manager of Glasgow Rangers? And in my mind, it's yes.
Dave, it's obviously a big appointment for Rangers. What can it do for the brand, for Rangers and for Scottish football?
I think it's good for both Rangers and Scottish football. I think it's, in the flight on the way over here, I was trying to think when, in certainly Rangers' recent history, or probably in Scotland, there's been a bigger signing than Steven Gerrard coming to Rangers, and I can't think of one. And I think what it will do for Rangers, and derivatively for Scottish football, is there are an immense amount of Steven Gerrard fans all over the world. I come across them in China, Thailand, Indonesia, and they will all be keenly watching how Steven Gerrard is doing in his first managerial job. So I think it's very, very good for the club, and I think very, very good for the profile of Scottish football.
Stephen, when you were at that Old Firm game in March, were you aware of any interest then?
No.
Is it something that when you were there watching that game you thought this could be for me, given that there was uncertainty about who would be the manager next season?
No, I was invited up a couple of weeks before the game by Andy Skolden, who I knew from my relationship with at Liverpool, and when you get the opportunity to come to an old firm, you don't turn it down. So I came up to enjoy the game as a fan of football, and I really enjoyed the occasion, not the result now that I'm sitting here.
Last two, please.
But yeah, I mean, it was more about coming up to enjoy a football match, but no one at Rangers mentioned anything along them lines to me.
Steve, final one for me. How do you go about trying to stop Celtic's charge of domestic success?
Well, I think it's important not just to focus on Celtic. I think we have to focus on everyone in the league. But the key is to get our house in order. We need to improve the Rangers team and the Rangers squad, make it competitive at the top end of the league. That's the challenge to me, to worry about what I can control, and that is to make sure that Rangers are capable of winning football matches.
What would your message be to the Rangers support?
Let's go.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks all. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.